And welcome back to the Shaded Veil. You're here with a man named Jack and Strawberry. This is Epic the Musical going into, we did a video on, God, I'm blanking, the Athena one, Warrior of the Mind. Mm-hmm. There's a fantastic animatic by Spacebar that actually has that take place before this song as a suggested reshuffling of the song order, which is really cool. But if you're wondering why the second song is the third video in the series, that's why. Just kind of roll with it for a little bit. And yes, we did do Gigi's Horse and the Infant, but we are going with Wolfie the Witch for Just a Man, because while Gigi is fantastic and their Just a Man is incredible...
We probably will also be talking about Gigi's within the video, because...
A lot, yeah.
Or we'll react to Gigi's right after this. But I do want to say, I think...
Wolfie's incredible, and they need more love, too.
Yeah. Obviously. This one, I think, captures the emotions a lot better than Gigi does, whereas Gigi is great at capturing the action of everything going on. Or rather, like, the visual aspect of things that could happen, if that makes sense. The duality suggested in the songs. Whereas this one... We'll get to it.
Which, I'm not super familiar with this particular animatic. I'm more used to Gigi's one, so I have seen this once before, but I'm not super familiar. Mm-hmm. So, with the paperwork out of the way, let's crack in.
I look into your eyes and I think back to the son of mine. You're as old as he was when I...
Go back to him. I just wanted to talk about how cute this design is. Oh my god, look at him. He's such a cute little baby. Like, this is why I chose Wolfie's. Because it hurts more to have this, to know this cute little baby is just gonna be watermelon on the pavement.
Spoiler alert, again.
This is not a spoiler-free version of this.
Yeah, this baby, he is not long for this world, but this line, "You're as old as he was then when I went to war," mm-hmm. Man, that goes hard, because it's like, it's not just a child, it is Odysseus holding this baby and remembering his own that he's left behind. He doesn't even know if Telemachus is alive, because remember, this is ancient Greece. There's plague, there's famine, there's, like, random bandits that might sack you. A lot of people die very young in these olden times, and it's... And here's the thing, he is about to deprive someone of their child, and he's...
I mean, I like to think that there was probably communication between Odysseus and Penelope via messengers.
There might have been, but considering...
Letters were a thing. I mean, even during wars.
Letters were a thing, but you see what this man had to do to get home. You think a messenger boat's going to be making that journey terribly often?
But he's going to go off grid at some point.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't remember canonically how long the journey is, but sending boats back and forth just for, like, letters, probably not a thing that would have happened terribly much.
It's probably not easy, but I'm gonna headcanon that he, at least at this point, knows that Telemachus is 10 years old and is aware of his existence in the world and is probably okay with that. But going on about the design. He is a cutie patootie, and I appreciate that one of Odysseus's alternatives was to just, but what if he's my little baby?
Yeah, I was like, what if Zeus...
What if I keep him? What if he's my own little baby Yoda?
Wild, going off to war and coming back with an extra son, which, that's not how the story goes, but that would have made for a wildly interesting dramatic scene, because by the time Odysseus gets home, he would have spent 10 years with this child, and it would be like a small child.
If you want to see a version of that story, I recommend probably going to watch The Mandalorian.
Well, no, not the Mandalorian, because Baby Yoda never gets to grow up, so he can stay cute and merchandisable forever. I would love to see a version of this story where Odysseus does take the child home, and we get to see him, A, grow up a little bit, but B, the drama when he gets home to Telemachus and he has an extra son that he's adopted.
That story also exists via Thor, does it not?
Fair. Yeah, no, you're right. And the Prince of Egypt.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like we'll talk about it more later, but I feel like there's a lot of parallels between this story and the Exodus, but I guess specifically the Prince of Egypt, because I'm not as familiar with the biblical version, sorry. But,
Prince of Egypt was like a movie that we watched in Bible class. It is church-approved canon, basically.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that I also agree, I would love to know how the story would have gone otherwise, like especially without the gods' interference or without anyone knowing that this is the son of Prince Hector.
Would be cool, but alas, that's not what happens.
When I left for
6 minutes for 30 seconds.
We're like Morty or something here, okay?
We got a lot to say. We got a lot of opinions. Yes, for a long time. Odysseus, you're never getting over this one. I'm sorry, bud.
But yeah, but I can't help but wonder what he would have done before they get to the island of the Lotus Eaters. What his fatherly instincts would have told him to do for this baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, would they
Raise
have
it,
gotten?
feed it.
Well, yes, but would they have gotten into more or less trouble?
More, definitely more.
Definitely more.
Odysseus is good at finding trouble.
man I've slain is the price I pay. Endless pain. Close your eyes and spare yourself the view.
Also another line that goes really
Yeah, we
fucking
haven't done
hard.
enough praising of Jorge yet, but the lyrics for every song, banger.
Like, he mentioned in one of his behind the scenes that a lot of the lyrics were a little bit trial and error, just looking for what felt right and what fit right. Man, it doesn't read like trial and error. It reads like
Perfection.
meticulously crafted to like be evocative. The range and breadth of emotion that this man evokes, not just with the lyrics, but with the music and the composition. I've said it to a lot of people when recommending this show. You could run like basically an entire semester-long collegiate course dissecting what this man does musically and lyrically throughout the entirety of this.
Yeah, if I haven't said it yet, Epic the Musical might be my favorite musical of all time now.
Yeah, it's...
No, might. Because I've never obsessed over a musical the way I do for Epic.
It's just cover to cover brilliant in all aspects, and like everyone else in this fandom, I cannot wait to see what happens next with this fantastic IP now that they've finished the musical part of it.
I'm so afraid of it turning into a stage musical because I am so protective of this cast. Like, I know there are people who are just like, I want to be in the room where it happens, right? I want to see all of this live, and I want to see, you know, other renditions and takes on these characters, but I don't, because I feel like this is perfection.
And unlike Hamilton, this is a story about gods and magic and monsters, and a lot of people die. You can have deaths on stage, but Hamilton is very much a drama. Yeah, there are a couple of action songs,
Yeah,
but
it's a personal drama.
It's a personal drama and a political drama. This has a lot more, like, demand on
more
VFX
grandiose.
budget. It's more grandiose with the gods and the magic and whatnot. It would be incredibly challenging for someone to do it justice in a stage musical, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done, but I am saying it shouldn't be the only thing. I still want to have a movie or an animated show that I can watch.
By the way, like, I know that there are plenty of musical adaptations that get, you know, brought to Broadway or something like that from Disney movies, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin,
Which that's fine.
so on and so forth. But I feel like this is just S tier all the way through as far as performances from Troy, from Jorge, Tegan, Mason, so on and so forth. Like, there are so many talented people that I just feel like it got cast to perfection the first time.
Troy doesn't show up for 2 or 3 more arcs. It's way too early for him to steal the spotlight. Trust me, he'll be hogging it when he gets here.
I love Troy. I'm such a fan of Troy.
We'll be talking about him later, though.
How could I hurt you?
It's actually really easy to hurt a baby, Odysseus. Like, if you're looking for pointers, I can clue you in.
Okay, I want to talk about this emotion right here, where he takes off the helmet.
Or the helmet falls off a little bit more. It didn't look like he deliberately took it off. It looks like he just sits down against... Oh, no, he does take it off. Okay.
Yeah, and he's taking off the monster bit. Like, he's just a man right here, and it's so beautiful. Like, he doesn't want to do this. He is a good guy.
Which one of the very common visuals that shows up in a lot of animators
For
is
the monster is
the helmet, specifically the commander's helmet with the very distinctive plume over here is the symbol of the soldier of the monster. The visual metaphor of him taking off the helmet is him putting down the responsibilities of being the general so he can take a moment to be just a man holding a child, which excellent visual storytelling, fantastic, phenomenal. I love it.
I'm just a man who's trying to go home. Years away from what I've known. I'm just a man who's fighting for his life. Deep down.
Jorge, I'm talking to you, you bitch. No, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I love your vocals so much for that part when you just breathe the fighting, because you would expect fighting is like, you know, but when he sings it so softly, like it's a lullaby, it's so
but
opposite to what that word feels like. And
not just as a lullaby, like the breathiness on fighting. 10 years, this man is exhausted. This man is physically, psychologically, and emotionally fatigued deep down to his bones. 10 years, this might be the first time that he has set down the responsibility of being a general in 10 years, because they've been laying a very contentious siege, and it's a pretty hard-fought battle. This might be the first time that our man like really sits down to relax in weeks, months. Who really knows? And that, you know, we're gonna listen it back again.
I would trade the world to see my son and wife. I'm just a man.
I love that this is the song. I know you weren't for it at the beginning, but I love that this is the song that introduces the entire theme of the show.
Which I wasn't super fond of this song on my first couple of listens through, because I didn't appreciate what it was doing. This song is setting up the theming for the entirety of the show.
Yeah, I know. I remember you said, like, it doesn't have to do with anything. And I was like, yes, it does.
Yeah, no, I didn't appreciate it. I'll walk that earlier opinion back. It's a fantastic song, but it is a little bit calm and slow and sedate for how it follows on such a hype battle song at, like, Horse and the Infant, which, kind of tying into what you said before, I think musically it might also be cool to use a couple of transitional bars of Warrior of the Mind to kind of dial down the hype a little bit and start leaning into a more softer cadence, so that when you get to Just a Man, it doesn't feel quite so jarring. It sounds like I'm being super critical. I love this. It's a fantastic musical. These are very much my personal taste.
So
it's still a fantastic piece of art.
I want to go back into the Warrior of the Mind thing, where I'm suggesting that Athena is introduced earlier. I think have Athena say, "Don't forget the lessons that I taught you. You were a warrior of the mind." Have those bars transition into something more lullaby-ish, like here.
Yeah.
And then she also disappears. Like, and have her also touch his shoulder. It's like, yes, this is a hard thing to do, but you got to do this. This is what you're fighting for, and this baby could potentially take away everything you were fighting for.
Which is one of the things, in the same way that Hamilton's soundtrack is like 95% of the musical, but there are several interstitial scenes that are in the stage play but just not in the musical. I feel like Epic the Musical has a couple of moments where an interstitial scene is useful if not necessary. From Horse and the Infant into Just a Man, I think, like you were saying, it would be nice to have not a whole song maybe, but a couple of interstitial bars to like slowly dial the tone down a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't mute that last bit. We have both been singing along the entire time while it's been playing. I'm just using push to mute so you don't have to put up with our vocalizations, but man, it's try not to sing along challenge difficulty impossible.
You'll probably hear singing here and there. I'm okay with that.
Only when I forget to mute.
But when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster?
Okay,
I wanted him to finish the line.
So Gigi has Odysseus look into a mirror and he sees the monster with the helmet on. Here, I like that it's kind of a more literal thing where it's the helmet covering the baby's face, and there's this idea that eventually this is what the baby will turn into. Whereas Gigi, I think, focuses more on the internal struggle between Odysseus and himself being the monster. And there is a duality here too, don't get me wrong, when he drops the helmet earlier.
And the real brilliance of this song is that these lyrics do have the dual meaning. When does a man become a monster is asking the question of this child, this innocent child that's done nothing wrong. When will he grow up to become a conqueror that will kill Odysseus and his entire family and burn his palace to the ashes and raise his civilization to nothing?
Like what's the moment? Or is it a sprinkle of moments? Like, I'm sure he's wondering, like, what could I do to stop this?
But then also the other side of that question is, when do I, Odysseus, become the monster? If I am going to murder a child to protect my family just because Sky Daddy told me to. It's a brilliant set of lyrics, and this moment here of him picking up the helmet and staring into the helmet, the symbol of Odysseus, the warrior, the general, the conqueror, arguably a monster to the Trojans.
One thing I would
contrasted against
for any of the animators who work on this movie, not that they're ever going to watch this, but I would love to see him put the helmet onto the baby and the helmet just being too big that it falls off. Does that make sense? Yeah,
have the helmet just be so massively larger than the infant, and he looks at it like he may grow into a monster, but he definitely isn't one now.
Yeah.
That would be a great visual metaphor as well. Yeah.
When does a ripple become a tidal wave? When does the reason become the blame? When does a man become a monster?
The helmet. Whoop, too far.
The baby's so cute. I can't understand.
But the helmet.
Wolfie, I love you. Wolfie's such a fan.
But the helmet's back on. He's made his decision. He is back to being Odysseus, the general, the conqueror. He knows what has to be done.
I don't know. I haven't watched this enough time to really know, but I do like that he's not able to look at what's happening quite right now.
Also, let's get a couple lines deep. Too far. Let's get this freeze frame here. So one of the other brilliant things that this musical does is how it uses diegetic backup vocals. For any mortal, I'm using that immortal, that is on screen, if they have backup vocals, those are real people, those are real characters in the musical singing along with them. A lot of the times for Odysseus and his army, when there are backup vocals, it is, canonically, his army singing along with him, because he is just a man, he only has one voice, and now his army, seeing him atop the wall with the infant, they're asking the same question. Hey, that's our general up there. Is he about to kill the prince's child? Is he going too far with this? Which, I say mortals have to have diegetic backup vocals. There are a lot of characters that break that rule. Notably, all of the gods can freely summon their own backup vocals. A lot of arguably not mortal characters, Circe, Calypso, Polyphemus, they can also summon their own backup vocals. And there is a certain point when, again, spoilers, they're spoilers, when Odysseus stops becoming just a man and he becomes the monster, he starts to get his own non-diegetic backup vocals, his own ghostly choir following him, like some of the other legendary characters have. And that's such a great storytelling bit. So as you're listening through this, play spot the vocals for when there are backup vocals, who is singing them or where are they coming from. It's fantastic.
So another thing that I love about Wolfie's here is that this is all happening, the dropping of the baby. Is happening in front of the baby's mom. I don't know the name. I think it's Andromeda or something like that. And I would love, since this is just a concept album, I think in a more official album, have her also be singing the monster word.
Ooh, that would, if he does try to go in with the pre-reprisals, a song later on, Monster, has a lot of very distinct musical themes. Having her sing in with the musical theme from Monster.
No, just this word, just the monster word.
Yeah, but like Poseidon
but
does.
I would want to see
Monster.
her. Yeah, I would want to see her more included, because this is rough. I think this makes it rougher. Wolfie went in for the emotion, okay? And Gigi, I love you. You're never going to watch this, so I don't know why I'm talking to either of you. But I love Gigi's use of the visual metaphors. Whereas I feel like Wolfie went in for more of just literal
the personal
things.
storytelling.
Yeah. And did such a fantastic job of making me cry the first time that I watched this. I was like, oh my god, what is wrong with you?
Gigi's gonna show up in our comments section I'm sorry my animatic wasn't good enough for the sad face.
No, stop, don't even say that. Gigi, there is a reason why we started with you in the first place.
We'll have more of your works. Fantastic. We love you.
We have praise for so many,
But we have to give some love to the other animators, too.
Yeah, this one is my favorite one. I'm sorry, this is my definitive one until I see a better Just a Man.
Go rewatch Mortius's reactions. Goodness knows he is fanatical about you.
Yeah, Mortius, I think Casper and Danny also did Gigi's for this one. But I think Wolfie gets my love right here.
We're here to show some more love to some of the animatics that maybe weren't as popular. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
I'm just a man.
Wolfie, are you not going to put a title card at the end here? I guess Wolfie's not going to put a title card. In lieu of that, we'll just bounce over to Wolfie's YouTube channel, Wolfie the Witch. Mm-hmm. Go give... Actually, what am I doing? Like button. Everybody, go hit Wolfie's like button. Punch that like button. Wait, I'm not gonna do this bit. In the face.
Yeah.
Yes. Punch the like button in the face, of course. There's definitely not a recurring bit on my channel.
No, we're not going to bring that up.
I don't know. I might bring it up, but later. But yeah, that's the end of our third video. It's the last one we're going to record for now. Probably do more later. We're obsessed with this. We love talking about it. As I mentioned at some point, we have loud opinions about things that we don't know much about.
Yeah.
But on that note, if you made it this far, drop a comment. If you don't comment, you're not real. Thank you very much for coming along. Don't judge me for my subscriptions. I probably shouldn't have left that in there. Oh well, too late. Nobody cares. Hard cut out.